What's up, everybody? James Duggan here with IGN. Joining me, Ryan McCaffrey, who just got to go hands-on with Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order. I got to look at the extended demo, and I have to say the extended demo is much more impressive than what they showed during the stream.
Yeah.
What was your take?
Yeah, I mean, it does feel good to play. So there is a lot of depth to the combat system. You know, you saw the wall running, you saw the double jumps, the climbing, the mantling, all that stuff, but the actual lightsaber and force power combat, it's all pretty intuitive on the gamepad. You've got block on one side, you've got lightsaber, force powers on the other. And yes, you can, when those blaster shots start coming in from the armed stormtroopers, you can just hold the button down to just deflect them away like a shield. But if you tap with proper timing, it's a parry, and that's when it'll reflect the shots right back at them and take them down. So there's a nice little layering to that, which was really cool. And then some of the tougher stormtrooper enemies that we saw in the demo, that don't go down easily in one or two hits. You've got to time your dodge as well. That's on the B button. You can roll away, or if you're going to go ahead and block, you've got to be like right on it. And so you can get to the point where if you time it just right, get a block, and then you've got a quick window to hit X and go into a counterattack. You can trigger like a kind of a finishing move where the camera will just sort of swoop a little bit, do a number of things, like maybe grab them and throw them up in the air and slam them down and take them out. So there's a lot of that. I do not think the combat in this game is going to get boring anytime soon. I even got to look at the skill tree. They literally wouldn't let me poke around in it, but they said, well, here's where you come to these spots where you can meditate. So that's like a checkpoint. So you can stop there, use your skill points, it'll refill your health bar, and the skill tree is huge. So I think there's going to be a lot of interesting ways to play this game.
So you obviously have your fodder, the stormtroopers that, you cut through like butter, which is classic Star Wars fashion, but there are more difficult enemies. Can you talk to me about enemy diversity? I know we have the Purge Trooper as well as those spiders. Did those feel intimidating? Did those feel like a challenge?
Yes, yeah, for sure. There's a nice different attack pattern for everybody. And what's cool is you got a little bit of a taste of it in the demo that they showed on EA Play, but they do kind of the old school thing where the enemies will fight each other. So I kind of hung back for a minute, let the ranks get thinned out before I hopped in to work on the last couple stormtroopers, the last couple spiders. But yeah, there's flamethrower stormtroopers in there. There's the big spiders. There's a lot of neat stuff. Now, one thing I was I was a little bummed about was no dismemberment, right? Like, you're doing all these cool Jedi attacks and you can't lop off limbs.
Yeah.
So I asked about that. One of the lead designers, and was told that it's a Lucas brand thing.
You're killing me.
I know, right? But you can dismember non-humans, so spiders, or take the legs off, droids, but not human characters. You will not be dismembering.
What do lightsabers even do anymore? There are even like executions where you're literally taking your saber and just running it through a guy's torso, and he's like, "Whoa!"
I'm with you. I'm all with you on that.
I can't believe that.
An
That's
unfortunate,
such a huge bummer, not just for Jedi Fallen Order, but for the franchise as a whole.
Because if I remember right, it was either Jedi Outcast or Jedi Academy. You could lop off. It's been done in Star Wars, pre-Disney.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that was a little bit of a bummer.
Oh, well. All right, talk to me about some of the non-combat stuff. I think one of the things that I saw in the demo is that the Kashyyyk is a little bit more open-ended than I initially took it for. I thought it was just this linear, Uncharted-style straight shot, but it's actually a little bit more of a Metroidvania. So talk to me about those elements.
I asked the designer that I was talking to, Justin Perez, and I said, this reminds me of KOTOR. Is that fair? Obviously, KOTOR's a role-playing game, and this is very much not. But yeah, the structure is actually the same, where you go to a planet and you can travel to any planet at any time that you've been to. So, and you've got a ship, similar deal there. And you can walk around your ship. There's some interactive bits. You can talk to your crewmates. And when you're on a planet, there are combat areas, and there are some non-combat areas where you're just kind of walking around, checking stuff out, talking to people. So yeah, it is kind of open, and you do have a decent bit of freedom of movement. It's not an open world game at all, but if you've played the original Knights of the Old Republic, that's kind of a good idea for how to picture the physical structure of the game world.
Vamping on that non-combat area, can you tell me about the dialogue options? Can you tell me about the characters? Are they interesting? And then the other thing that was really stuck out to me was the star chart. Obviously, I doubt you could have flown to other planets in your demo because I doubt they built them yet, but that seemed like an option.
Yeah, all that stuff's in there. I only saw one bit of dialogue choice, just a one or the other choice. So I'm curious if, I wouldn't expect a Mass Effect level of dialogue depth there as far as the choices of conversation. But I don't know. That's just me speculating. This is a third-person action game after all. But then again, never doubt Respawn. Their track record suggests they will do everything they can to make this game as amazing as possible. So, there's the dialogue stuff in there. Didn't really get a chance to spend much time with any of the NPCs because, again, I saw the same demo. All right, either I just played the same demo that everybody else saw. So that's the only slice of the game we have to work with so far. But again, what I've played so far, super promising. It's always a little tough to jump right into the middle of a game that you've never played in your life before like that. So I suspect in the final game, there'll be a real organic ramp up and you'll be doing all kinds of crazy combos and cool moves in no time.
Well, that's great. Sounds like your impressions are super positive.
Yes.
I'm really excited to see what's happening narratively with this game, with kind of the Republic clone troopers and the stormtroopers at each other's throats.
Yes.
Saw Gerrera, pre-Rogue One. There's a lot of really interesting stuff. Of course, for all things Jedi Fallen Order as well as E3 2019, you can keep it right here on IGN.